archives of Prasar Bharati presents the timeless treasure of golden era.
We welcome you to our program Welcome to Studio One.
It's a huge pleasure to be able to welcome the wonderful singer, songwriter, musician par excellence, as well as social activist, actress. I run out of words to describe Shibani Kashyap, whose glamorous presence is gracing Studio One today. Thank you very much for coming here, Shibani. It's a great pleasure to see you here.
It's wonderful being here, and you know my connect with AIR. So
I was going to start with that, but before that, I wanted to say that it's good to welcome you back to Delhi, because she was such a familiar sight in Delhi before she moved on to the great world of entertainment in Mumbai, and is working in films and cinema. It's great to see you back in Delhi.
Thank you so much.
Now, Shibani has already stolen my thunder, because I was going to let you into a secret. That is her great association with All India Radio. Shibani is in fact the voice which is always heard even now on All India Radio FM, because she has sung the signature tune of AIR FM from the day that it started. So, Shibani, your voice is most familiar to all AIR FM listeners all over the country.
Yes.
Tell me about that jingle first, maybe before since you mentioned it yourself. How did that come about? When was it recorded? And how did the tune come about, which is known by everybody who listens to AIR FM?
Okay, so I started my career singing jingles, singing and also producing jingles, not just singing, and then I went into production of music for TVCs and AVs and jingles and radio spots and everything. So when AIR was becoming FM, from mono to stereo, it was a huge, a very marked, I would say, a path-breaking change which came about in the radio industry. And I felt very great that I was a huge part of that, because I became the voice of that particular signature tune. And I was asked to record the signature tune at Studio Synthesis, which used to be our very favorite studio.
Yes,
I used to record there a lot. Yeah. And honestly, it's a Doobie Brothers tune, the song which this jingle is based on. And it's a very popular song which talks about music, listen to the music. And that's what this jingle is based on, AIR FM stereo.
Do you mind just humming a bit
of
it?
Sure, absolutely.
The good thing is Shibani has brought her guitar. For those of you who are live streaming and listening on the radio and not seeing her in the studio, she's brought her guitar and she's more than willing to sing for us. So that's wonderful, Shibani. Thanks. A little bit of the AIR FM jingle.
You've got the music coming night and day. FM is ready for you in the morning or late at night. Whoa, you're gonna let the music play. AIR FM stereo. AIR FM stereo. All the time on All India Radio.
Wow! Thank you, Shibani.
Thank you.
Shibani, that's
I don't know
beautiful.
if that rings a bell or not with anybody. Do you remember this? Yes. The signature tune? Yes. Great.
Everybody hears it all the time, even now. So
because
it's
I'm very
wonderful.
emotional about this jingle, because I started my career singing jingles with this particular jingle.
That's fantastic, and it's lovely to hear it from you again here in Studio One.
Thank you.
Shibani, you are basically a Delhi girl, aren't you?
Yeah, completely.
Yeah. So I believe your father was in the forces, the armed forces.
Yes.
And did you travel all over India during your school days, go to many different schools, or you stayed in Delhi throughout?
No, Delhi was like the final destination before my dad got retired. I mean, that's after which he was retired. So we've been to places like, I was born and brought up in Kashmir.
I see.
So we stayed in beautiful places like Banihal, Srinagar, Gulmarg. So I know every part of Kashmir so well, because my entire childhood was spent there.
I see.
So studied there. Then we went to Dehradun. We were posted there. Then we went to Pune, and so it's been like Assam.
Yeah.
So like a whirlwind.
Typical armed forces kid all over the country.
Yeah. So I think I had the travel bug in me, because every 3 years, we would be packing our suitcases and packing up and leaving from one city to another.
Yeah, right. But you finally did your graduation here in Delhi from the Shriram College?
Yeah, my schooling also.
Schooling also?
Yeah. I'm a dipsite. I did my schooling from DPS Mathura Road.
Right.
And yes, my
Lady Shriram College?
Yes, that's right.
You did literature?
Literature, yeah.
Wow, English literature. So that's what you graduated in.
Yeah.
When did the music bug really bite you?
So I think ever since I was a child, I used to sing a lot in my school choir, and I used to represent the school in all the inter-school vocal music competitions, and I used to win. And I used to feel very happy about it. But I think the when I knew that okay, this is what I really would need to pursue, was when I participated in All India Sangam Kala Group, the light vocal music competition, out of which Sonu Nigam has also come out, and even Sunidhi. They've all participated in that. It's a wonderful forum because it just, the competitions are very, very genuine, and there's rigorous training which goes into it. And I think that was the first reality show, a ground reality show of its kind, after which it was followed by Saregama-pa and all of that. Right. So when I won that 3 years in a row, I participated 3 years in a row, once in the junior category and then in the, the sub-senior category and then the senior category. So then when I won, that's when I realized that I have to pursue music as
a career.
And yeah, I mean, I was fortunate that the judge was the veteran, the legendary Jagjit Singh ji, and he blessed me and he said that one day you will be a very popular singer.
That must have been a huge encouragement.
Yeah, it was a huge encouragement.
Yeah. So, but the music industry, the film industry, the entertainment world is a very cruel place and very difficult to break through. So how did you, despite having won all these competitions, was it a struggle nonetheless to establish yourself?
So I always feel that the establishment and the fame will follow, it will happen. But I think first it's very necessary to polish your skills so much that wherever you are at any platform, even if I'm at this platform or I'm at any other stage outside, wherever, you shine through so much that you are noticed and you're appreciated. And then rest, everything is a part of the game, Right. So to break through the so-called, as you said, the cruel industry, I think if your work speaks for yourself. Right. And I think the country salutes true talent. And yes, there's a lot of competition, which is healthy, in fact. And there are many clubs and cliques and camps. It happens in the corporate industry also, not just
yes, it happens in every sphere. Yeah. Yes.
So it's just about being doggedly persevering about yourself and self-belief. So the more you believe in yourself, the other person will also believe in you, because that's the vibe you'll send out. Else if you're underconfident, it comes across and person in front of you will not believe in you.
Yeah. You're a glass half full kind of person, an optimistic person, right?
Very optimistic.
Because I read that in an interview, you were saying that you're really full of spirit and very optimistic about everything, always.
Yes.
Yeah, that shines through. Thank you.
Thanks.
Yeah, you also have described yourself as a free spirit. What do you mean when you say that?
So, when you're not in the shackles of a particular norm or a so-called tradition, that's what it is, and that helps me in my music. So it basically describes me as a musician more than anything else. So when I say that I'm free-spirited, it means that of course, since I travel so much, I like to explore new places and new people, and musically also I don't like to be just a purist classical musician or a purist jazz musician. I like to blend different genres together, and the result is so lovely because it's just something so different. So I like to experiment and dabble with that. Yeah, that's why I'm free-spirited musically.
So what about your training? You said you've done a lot of training as well, haven't you?
I'm still training, because I think for any artist, it's very important to keep training. I mean, I'm sure, sportsmen, actors, artists, singers, they have to keep training forever. You can't just give that up. Yeah. So yes, I've trained.
You did Indian classical music also?
I've done, and I'm still training in Indian classical music.
And you did Western classical also from the Delhi School of Music,
from the
I
Delhi
believe.
School of Music, yeah.
You did vocal music there?
Yes, vocal music.
Wow, that's very nice.
And the biggest training for me was when I was in LSR. I participated in a musical. It was in Andrew Lloyd Webber's musical called The Cats. And we had a 6-month training procedure, and that is what really trained me as a performer.
I see.
So, I really have to, I owe my LSR producers and directors that, because the kind of dancing, the kind of movements, the kind of projection from your diaphragm, I learned so many techniques. It till date helps me in my performances. and even my studio singing.
But you're a very versatile musician. You play the guitar yourself, obviously. You accompany yourself.
I have not trained formally in guitar playing. I just spent like 8, 10, 12 hours in a day just with the guitar. I slept with the guitar actually, by my side. I would wake up first thing in the morning. I would play. My fingers have bled, when I was a little girl, when I picked up playing the guitar. So it's just about your dedication and your passion. That's what really,
It's fantastic. You picked it up yourself.
Yeah, completely.
Fantastic. I mean, you've learned other instruments also. You can play other instruments.
No,
I believe the piano also a little bit.
No. I mean, I can just get by. I won't really profess to be a piano player, but yeah, guitar. That's why I'm endorsing the guitar brand Yamaha.
Okay.
Because I do play the guitar.
Right. Now, tell us something about your choices in music. You say that you're a free spirit as far as music is also concerned, whether it's classical or blues or any other kind. What are the various strands that have gone into making your musical personality?
I idolize a musician called Sting completely, because I think he's a musician extraordinaire. He writes his own music. He's very poetic when he writes his lyrics, and he plays the guitar also, and he sings and he composes. It's like a musician who's carrying their personality and their signature with their music. So that's what I just completely get inspired by. I just love that kind of music, because he also meshes a lot of jazz and a lot of blues and a lot of classical in his music. On the other hand, on the purest side of things, I absolutely love the Sufi music, especially by the great Nusrat Fateh Ali Khan Sahab. I've had the pleasure and the privilege of jamming and meeting up with people like Rahat Fateh Ali Khan, and learned a lot from them, with Abida Parveen ji. So there's so much of, when they sing, there's so much of uninhibitedness in their singing. That's what I've learned from them, from their singing and that kind of music, which is truly free spirited.
They throw themselves into their music.
Yeah, it's just you completely surrender to God and to music and to the divinity of music. So that's what I completely love. And I love the classic jazz of the New Orleans, that kind of jazz I love. I had a wonderful opportunity recently. I was in Chicago for a concert, and after the concert we went to the blues club, which is like the iconic blues club, where the Blues Brothers used to play back in the day. And there was a wonderful blues band performing, and I just couldn't resist. I just went up on stage and I started jamming with them. I just felt that, wow, how I belong here so well. I mean, with this music,
right,
so to speak. So yeah, I love the blues. I love jazz.
Very eclectic in your choices in music,
yes.
And I think all that shines through in the kind of music you make yourself. So when did you first compose music yourself?
So I think I was in college, and actually no, I was in school that time. And that time we did a musical called Stepping Out. The musical was all about when you're leaving school and you're on the threshold of choosing your education, which will lead to your career. So that's what the musical was all about. And Loy Mendonza of the Shankar Ehsaan Loy fame, he's the one who actually came in as a music producer, music director of the play.
They used to be based in Delhi.
Yeah, he used to be based in Delhi. In fact, I did a lot of jingles for him as well back then. So he encouraged all of us to, he said, no, all the singers will be performing and acting in this musical. I want all of you to write your own songs. So we're like, no, how can we? So that's the first time when I actually realized I could write my own music. And then of course, when I started singing jingles, I started composing and producing jingles. So that's another time that I felt that I could. Then of course it led to my albums, and then Ho Gayi Mohabbat happened, and so many other things happened. And that's when I think I've just been composing. Most of the music that I sing has been composed by me. So
right. Is the process of composition the sort of the poetry first and then the music, or music first and then the poetry? Do you write your own words? How do you do it? Or
so
do you pick
it
them
just
from here and there?
mostly I work with different lyric writers, because I'm not really such a good lyric writer myself. But I like to compose to lyrics, and there are times that I have a tune, and then I just quickly call up my lyricist and I tell him that, okay, listen, I have this.
Now you're doing a lot of live shows. You're also doing a lot of work in films, writing songs for films, singing them yourself, doing playback singing on screen for yourself also. Tell us, what do you find most exciting? Do you find the concerts most exciting, or the film work?
So the concerts, of course, I really feel that's, for me, it's like the high, you know, the big high kind of a thing. So yeah, it's something which I think I've learned to master, that art of performing live, and really soon in the future I'd like to start an academy just to teach musicians how to perform live, because that's another art altogether which I think I've discovered as I've gone along. There are many wonderful singers, but somehow when you're on stage you feel that they just don't connect with the audience, and that's something which, I mean, a few techniques and a few tips here and there, one can actually you know, you need to engage the audience.
Correct.
So even right now when I'm speaking with you, I'm ensuring that I'll talk to you as well, because you all are most important to me, because the message, this is for you guys to be inspired.
It's the kind of thing that we do in theatre.
Exactly, yes, yeah. And I've had the good fortune of doing theatre also.
Yes.
Maybe that's where I've learned this art, because
you did Cats when you were quite young.
I did Cats,
also.
I joined Stage Door, and
you worked with
Hussain.
Amir, yes.
Amir. So working with Amir Raza Hussain has, I mean, it's like, it was one of the best experiences of my life.
Yes.
It teaches you a lot, yeah.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So I think performing live is something which comes to me very naturally, very easy, and I completely am passionate about it. But film songs is something which is the dream of every singer today. You know, every singer wants to hear their voice on celluloid.
I know.
It is the big picture, because you can't imagine how huge Bollywood is, not just in India but every part of the world, even in a place called China where I performed last year. I mean, people in China know, you know, Shah Rukh Khan songs. In Indonesia, if you go, all the Indonesians are singing all the Shah Rukh hits. In Malaysia, and so it's, Bollywood is so huge that, I mean, it's a huge pride to be a part of that industry and represent India as a Bollywood musician or a singer, you know. So yeah, it's very exciting, and especially going a step further when you're not just singing, but when you're making music and your song gets taken for that particular film, and that, because the music becomes like I would say the vehicle of promotion for the film. It becomes like the face of the promotion at that point in time. So it's, being a part of Bollywood is really the dream, the big dream.
You've done quite a bit of Bollywood already now.
Yeah.
And your first big hit was in Waisa Bhi
Hota
Hai Part 2. Yeah. So now is your chance to ask Shibani any questions that you have in your minds and hearts. One at a time, please, and please make it a question and make it as brief as possible. So the floor is open to all of you. Who wants to go first?
I wanted to ask you, what is your favorite music experience? Do you have any favorites or
experience?
Well,
overall,
it's not just one. I've had so many favorite music experiences, especially when I've been working with you know, other musicians. That always is a favorite for me. When I worked with Mika, it was so much fun. I've never laughed so much in my life. I did a song called Sonia with him, and we even shot the music video. So it was really one of my most favorite music experiences. Another one was, of course, when I did the music video of Zinda with Lara Datta and Sanjay Dutt and John Abraham, all of us together in the video, and all of them were singing the song Zinda Hu Main. It was like a lovely, lovely, lovely feeling, actually.
Great. Next question, please. Yes, please.
How was your first experience on stage? When
Honestly,
you were facing the crowd?
So my very first time on stage was disastrous. It was a competition, but still it was nevertheless stage, and there were it was a huge auditorium. I remember it was I think it was Talkatora Stadium. When I was performing.
That's really large.
That's really large. So I
Seats
got
more than
so
12,000
nervous.
people.
So I was like, oh my gosh, I can't face this audience, and what will I do? And I was very, very, very young that time. Like, so I just sat down on the stage and I just shut my eyes and I sang the whole song and I ran. Because I was like, if I open my eyes, I will definitely stutter and stumble and I will not be able to sing.
Which are the musicians and singers now active in India whom you really admire and whom you might want to work with, just as you worked with some like Mika and Bappi Lahiri and so on?
So my next single I'm working on is with Rabi Shergill. He's a very dear friend, and our musicality is really matched. We've just done a nice concert in Dubai, and we'll be off to the US for a tour very soon, 12-city tour. So yeah, I'm looking forward to collaborating with him, because I think we'll both make it a guitar sounding track.
Yeah,
guitar
because
sounding,
both of you have this very guitar-centric
yeah,
kind of music.
Exactly, yeah.
Yes.
And I think what he suggested was let's make a song called Delhi Dreams, because we hail from Delhi, and whatever we are today, it's because whatever experiences and the journey that we've had in this city, and we owe this city a lot, you know.
Actually, there's so many people from Delhi in the music world and in the film world, aren't there?
Yeah.
So you must be feeling quite at home in Bombay.
Actually, yeah, KK, he's from Delhi. Sonu Nigam is from Delhi.
Yeah.
Kailash Kher. So many of us are from Delhi, actually.
Delhi is a very talented city.
Yeah.
We all agree? Some more questions, please, for Shibani? I'm sure you have lots of things you want to ask. Please don't be shy. It took you some time to start singing. Now it'll take you some time to start asking questions. Huh? Please don't be shy.
Well, I would like to have one question.
Sure.
Until recently, maybe 10 years or 15 years ago, there were only few singers, stalwarts who would be singing, and newcomers wouldn't have that much of an opportunity. But it seems that in the last 10 years, things have really opened up, and many new singers, they're coming up.
Yeah.
And it's not that it's a monopoly by one or two. What do you think? What do you attribute that? What has contributed to this?
So I think firstly the audiences also are very ready for a change, and you get tired of listening to the same voices over and over again. So reinvention is very important, and if there are so many of these reality shows, thanks to that new voices have been introduced.
That's right.
I mean, today we all know that one of my most favorite singers in the country today is Arijit Singh, and he is, I mean, every other hit song is sung by him. We all agree with that, right? He's also coming from a reality show. I mean, he was not the winner of the reality show Fame Gurukul, but it's not necessary that you become a winner of the reality show. Your very presence can take you such a long way that today he's the country's most sought after performer, singer. I mean, he's really made it global because he performed at the Wembley recently. I know I'm going on and on about him because I really admire and get inspired by such singers. So that's just an example to let you know that there's so many forums and platforms today available for new voices, to come here.
Tell me, as far as films are concerned, you have also taken to acting recently, I believe. I think you signed up some movies. There was some announcement recently.
No, I just did. All this was just like a one-off kind of a thing. I did a film which was based on martial arts. The film was called Ranveer the Marshal, and it released last year.
I see.
And I had to play a martial arts expert. I know I don't look like one, but
are you? Have you learned martial arts yourself?
But I did the film because I said I'll get the opportunity to learn martial arts, and this is actually also for the women, because I felt that I could inspire women to learn some form of self-defense. It's always good to know, good to be, how should I say, if you're well equipped by your own self, and it always comes in handy. I think it's good. It's not just for self-defense, but it's great for your physical fitness, your holistic fitness. It's great. So I just enjoyed it more like a holiday. So I did it for that, and acting is certainly not something which I'm hankering after or anything.
Right.
And then I got an offer to play a music mentor in a Star TV serial. It's the serial called Veera, and so the main the hero of the serial is a singer. So he comes to his track was when he comes to the city of Mumbai. He wants to make it big, and then he meets me, and I play that music mentor to him, and I get him to train and get him to participate in a reality show, and how he becomes a star and all of that. So it was fun because it was like something which came very easy to me. Being a music mentor is like, it was like playing myself. So.
Do you do a lot of mentoring in real life as well?
I mean, whenever I get the chance, yes, I do. I mean, a lot of people call me. My fans, they message me and call me. I do a lot of, live webcast shows where I talk about a lot of tips and, training.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's good. Tell me, you've also been noted for being active in social causes.
Yes.
Which are the causes dear to you, and how do you support them?
So, if you've heard of the Roundtable India, so I am the brand ambassador for that in North India, and I think it's a wonderful cause because we take up the cause of educating poor children, and we even provide shelters, small places. I mean, wherever we can get our hands on, we just use that place as a little school, and we have teachers coming in and teaching for free. The whole idea is to, that is a huge cause which I believe in, you know, educating. Education is something which can actually carve the future of a country. So that is foremost for me, this cause. That's why I'm the brand ambassador of this cause. I also have been involved with causes like, the women empowerment causes. I've made a song for women empowerment called I'm a Woman, I'm a Girl, This Is My Story. And another thing which I'm very, 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 it saddens me, I wish I could eradicate that, is the driving drunk cause. So I have been campaigning against drinking and driving. I'm not campaigning against drinking, I'm campaigning against drinking and then driving, because I have seen such horrific accidents and such innocent lives being just taken because of, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs. So that's something which, I've done a song for that also, and I feel that as a musician, that's the, the most effective way that I can, try and spread this message across.
By contributing a kind of song or an anthem for a cause.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's wonderful.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. Tell me, does this concern with
even acid attacks? Recently, somebody came to me and they told me the story of these girls, who've been acid attack victims, and I was like, here, just talking about this will not help. We need to do something. So there is this girl who was an acid attack victim, and she's 23 years old. She lost her eyesight. More than half her face is destroyed. She can't see because, she's blind because of, she's an acid attack victim. So she came, her name is Neetu, and she lives in Agra, and she came I invited her to my house, and because she said, my dream is, जब मैं ठीक हो जाऊँगी, जब मेरी eyesight ठीक हो जाएगी, तो मुझे singer बनना है. And she loves music. So all these years, she's just been, surviving and living on hope that, one day I'll become a singer. Despite all the odds. So she came over to my place, and I made her sing with me. I sang to her, and she was so thrilled, and that the seeing her delight on her face was something which was the biggest reward for me. I was like, okay, this is the best gift that I have got. So then we also even we kind of raised up like a public fund to start a small little tea house for her, so that she can earn some money. So if you go to Agra, on the way from Delhi to Agra, there's a little cafe. It's called Neetu's Tea House, tea cafe, which she runs. And it has been because of the public funds that we collected. I put it up on Facebook. It was like a chain reaction. So these things really help. So I think sometimes if we can do these things, it just makes our life so much more meaningful.
That's wonderful. It's a really lovely story that you told us. Does this mean, this activism and social cause, does it mean that you're also interested in politics?
Not really. I don't think I'm politically very adept. Yes, I must admit that I was invited to launch the online membership drive for BJP. But that was because, that was a drive wherein they were making everything very socially, social media savvy and digitally active. So because I am a social media active person. So
that's right.
So that's what it was. But right now, I don't think I have any such plans to get into it very actively. But yes, I am. I will be taking up social causes far more aggressively and far more, actively in the future as well.
So what is, you've also done a lot of collaboration with other musicians, and many of them, people who are also very popular, like Mika.
Yeah.
And you did something with Bappi Lahiri recently, I believe?
No, recently I did a song with Mika.
Yes.
And Bappi Lahiri, I did a song, I've sung for lots of films where he's composed the music. And then one day I was, my album, My Free Spirit was being released. And I said, I have this one song which I think we should do in the disco genre. So he said, let's do a song called Zamana To Hai Disco Ka. I said, that will be great because, it's something which really defines him as a musician. So it was fun. It was real fun.
So are there any other collaborations up your sleeve? What are the new projects you're excited about?
I completely love collaborations. I did one collaboration for Valentine's Day with Taz of Stereo Nation. Be My Valentine. That was fun also. I am now doing a collaboration with a very popular American band called Big Mountain. I don't know if you've heard of them. It's they had this song called Ooh Baby I Love Your Way Every Day. So they're a very popular band from, they're an international rage. So I'm doing a song called Tell Me I Need You. And yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Are you looking westwards also?
Yeah,
Wanting to
so
sing in America and
Yeah, absolutely.
Europe, etc.?
Absolutely, that's what my next aim is, to become global, and I think we all Indians deserve to be global. So
Yes. Well, more power to you. I'm sure you will succeed
so
with your
much.
kind of spirit and your enthusiasm and your optimism. I'm sure you'll make a big mark for yourself.
Thank you so much.
So, now is your chance to ask Shibani any questions that you have in your
Yeah.
minds and hearts. One at a time, please. And please make it a question and make it as brief as possible. So, the floor is open to all of you. Who wants to go first?
Hello Shivani, I would like to know what has been your biggest challenge, something that has really shaken you.
Biggest challenge. So the challenge is still on. That's what I want to let you know. I'm living with the challenge of being one of the few women singers who's not just a singer but also a woman composer in Bollywood. It's not very easy to be accepted as a complete musician, because in India the Bollywood norm has been that, you know, either you're just a singer, being a female. So it's like women camera persons, women film directors, and women music directors. So there are few, but this has been a challenge, and it's thrilling to know when your track becomes a popular hit, that the industry has accepted you or is accepting you. But the challenge is still on, because then again you have to prove yourself in the next one. So that is the eternal ongoing challenge for me.
What do you enjoy more, composing or singing? I mean, it's a silly question, I know, but
As much.
Both.
As much, yeah, both. Because singing is something which is in my blood, and I mean, I guess I keep humming and singing all the time. It's just my second nature to me. But composing is something which I feel it should come as a spontaneous thing. It's not something that you sit down and you theoretically do it or are clinical about it. It's something which has to just flow very naturally. So, and then when it does, it's a joy. It's a sheer joy.
Yeah.
You know.
Questions?
Hello ma'am,
Hi.
It's wonderful to see you here, and I have a question, like being on the other side, like a celebrity life, like what are the things you miss being a normal person?
Nice question. Yes.
Honestly, I don't, maybe it's because I'm very grounded and very, I come from a background where I've been told that humility is strength. So I've always maintained being humble. So that so-called celebrityness has never really struck me or hit me. It's a thrill for me whenever I perform and I sign autographs, and that's wonderful. The only thing which becomes a stress is when, sometimes you just want to chill for some time. You don't want to keep proving yourself all the time. So the whole expectation factor that people are expecting you to come out with hit pe hit all the time, that is a stress, being a celebrity. I mean, sometimes you can't bring a hit all the time. Sometimes you just want to be normal and ordinary and just maybe sit and watch. And there are times when you go to parties or you go for other people's performances and you're just enjoying them, listening to them sing, but then you are expected to आप भी आ जाओ, आप भी stage पे आ जाओ. It's like that. So I'm like, why? It's their moment, So that becomes sometimes a bit stressful.
Thank you. That was a nice question.
Yeah.
Thank you for your
Interesting
question.
question.
Yes.
मैं एक सवाल आपसे पूछना चाहता था, ये बताइए कि वेस्टर्न जो सिंगर्स हैं कभी कभी वो अपने लेवल से डाउन होकर गाते हैं. I mean, जो हमारा स्केल्स है,
हाँ.
जरा दिखाइए प्लीज, अपना स्केल दिखाएंगे कोई भी, बताइए.
Okay.
वहीं से बता दीजिए. I mean, they are coming sometime डाउन फ्रॉम द लेवल. श्रुतिज में बहुत डाउन आ जाते हैं, लेकिन इंडियन क्लासिकल सिंगर्स जो हैं वो श्रुतियों से डाउन नहीं होते. व्हाट इज द रीजन?
When you sing down, are you meaning that वो flat गा रहे हैं?
No,
No.
they are not.
Are they off key,
sing-
out of tune?
हाँ, out of tune. Yes.
Out of
This-
tune?
Yes.
They must be bad singers.
No, not.
I'm just joking.
This is not the meaning of the bad singer.
I know, I understand.
Sometimes you
That's called
can
a vibrato.
Vibrato.
So I'll
हाँ, तो
demonstrate that to you.
this is the beauty of the singer, or this is the bad
No.
thing of the singer.
So since I've learned both, हमारे Indian classical music में we are taught to sing straight notes. और अगर उसमें कुछ मुर्कियाँ या मींड वगैरह डालनी है,
हाँ.
तो that is like just a beautification thing, right? So सदियों से. So if I sing this, सदियों से.
Yeah, this is the reason I want to know.
Yeah.
What is the reason? Yeah.
खूबसूरत कहानी. बट अगर वेस्टर्नाइज करेंगे आप इसको तो उसमें समथिंग लाइक विब्राटो यू विल पुट सदियों से. So that is something which works better in an English song rather than in a Hindi song because it looks improper in a Hindi song. So if I were to sing in English song, so any English song that any of you know, so I can give a demo of that.
Every breath you take staying for you.
But he doesn't use too much of vibrato. So maybe I'll take another example of another song. Say Adele. You people have heard of Adele, right? There's a fire starting in my heart. So Adele does a lot of that. Starting in my heart, reaching a feature that bringing me to the part. So now if she wouldn't use that vibrato, it would not give that effect because she's telling a story in a song. You know, she's telling a very sad. She's angry in this song. So that vibrato is used to actually amplify that expression. But if she were to sing, "There's a fire starting in my heart," it'll be very flat. It'll fall flat. So these are techniques. Ye vibrato. These are techniques just to sometimes enhance the expression of the song. So when you're singing, आप सिर्फ flatly नहीं गा सकते. आपको expression डालना बहुत ज़रूरी है. Feel is what we call.
It's a Western technique for putting
It's a technique.
Thank you. That's a very good question, very good technical question. And Shibani, I must say you explained it beautifully. One more question, and then.
Hi sir.
Yes.
Hi ma'am. मैम अभी सर ने जो पूछा कि वो जो एंडिंग नोट्स जो स्ट्रेट लगाना एंड वो सारी एक्चुअली वेस्टर्न एंड क्लासिकल म्यूजिक में थोड़ा रियाज का फर्क होता है. जैसे यहाँ पे मंद्र का रियाज, ऊपर का रियाज, सब कुछ जो सारी चीजें टेक्निक्स हैं.
हाँ.
आप वेस्टर्न गाने के लिए ऐसे कौन से कुछ एकाध अगर टेक्निक्स यू वांट टू शेयर, क्योंकि मैं भी थोड़ा सा गाता हूँ, सो आई जस्ट वांट टू लर्न समथिंग.
वेस्टर्न के लिए सिर्फ?
हाँ, वेस्टर्न एंड क्लासिकल दोनों. क्योंकि जैसे आपको जैसे कोई गाना गाना, जैसे मेरी आवाज ही पहचान है गर या, तो एक तो ये हो गया. बट व्हेन यू आर मूविंग टुवर्ड्स दैट वेस्टर्न म्यूजिक, उसके लिए आप एक्स्ट्रा क्या ऐसा करते हो? जो क्लासिकल तो जैसे हम गाते हैं, वेस्टर्न के लिए क्या एक आध कुछ टेक्निक अगर?
So Western music में the Western musicians, they profess a lot of they promote a lot of usage of the diaphragm. यहाँ से project करना. Indian music में हम अपनी throat से या chest से, हमारे ना बहुत सारे sound boxes हैं. The head resonance, the nasal resonance, the throat resonance, the chest resonance, and the diaphragm is the main which is used in Western classical or Western music rather, because उससे आवाज़ एकदम खुल के आती है. So it's open mouth singing. It's from the diaphragm. Sometimes to use your expressions, and if it's a romantic song, then use a lot of husky voice, which is throaty. So they use a lot of different dimensions of your body, which is used in Western music. So it's always advised कि आप different body parts को use करोगे तो उसका projection different आएगा. I did a musical called Cats, which I was telling you about. We didn't have mics. जान के उन्होंने माइक्स नहीं लगाए थे इस शो के लिए. They said we want every singer to project so much, and the acoustic of the hall was so beautiful that it carried our voice from the stage till literally till the last person on the seat of the audience. So there was a song called Memory. Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone in the lamplight. The withered leaves caress at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. So this is all coming from the diaphragm. So it can be projected. मतलब I don't need a mic when I sing like this. So of course अगर acoustics इस hall के और उस type के होते तो आप मुझे शायद इस end of this building तक भी सुन सकते थे, if it would have been like that. So that is techniques बहुत use होती हैं western music में. एंड इंडियन म्यूजिक में जो है थोड़ा सा और बहुत प्योर काइंड ऑफ सिंगिंग होती है, उसमें आप स्ट्रेट नोट्स गाते हो, जैसे आपने कहा मंद्र सप्तक का, तीव्र सप्तक का, और सरगम होती हैं, आलाप होते हैं, बहुत कुछ होता है विच मेक्स योर वॉइस वेरी स्टेडी. सो इंडियन म्यूजिक का भी अपना एक बहुत ही खूबसूरत फाउंडेशन क्रिएट करता है आपकी वॉइस में. सो आई थिंक इट्स ग्रेट टू हैव नॉलेज ऑफ बोथ because then you can conquer any kind of singing.
I think we should give you a crash course in opera singing. Shibani, it's been a wonderful occasion here having you in Studio One. Thank you for your conversation. Thank you for your music. And all the best wishes to you for your wonderful career.
Thank you very much.
And thanks to all you wonderful people in the audience for joining in so heartily in the clapping and the singing and also in asking questions.
Yes.
It's been great having you here in Studio One. Thank you very much.